Hey everybody, it's me, from the same damn place I was before I said that we would be moving. Because we're not moving, for all sorts of reasons you can find out on my blog. So my hopes and dreams have been crushed. Why not go ahead and read a chapter of a horrible book, right? So where we last left off, Maxim was leaving nasty voicemails for his mother, and we, the reader, were supposed to be like, that's absolutely cool, we can definitely get on board with this, he's so hot and sexy and handsome, it's totally okay that he talks to all of the women in his life as if they were servants, including his wife, who used to be his servant. So of course chapter 15, because chapter 14 ended with the phone ringing and it being his mother, so chapter 15 opens with him being an asshole to his mother. "It's Rowena. I need to take this," I mutter, and leaving Alessia to close the front door, I head into the privacy of our bedroom and answer the phone. "Rowena, thank you so much," italics, so we know that he's being sarcastic here, "for returning my call. My sarcasm is heavily laced through every word." So you see we have the italics, but then we also make sure to tell you that it's sarcasm. "Maxim, your messages are insufferably rude. Why would I want to talk to you? And what the fuck do you mean you've cut me off?" "Swearing now, my mother is in a snit." And then it's like there's an exclamation point for like swearing now, like he's like furious after he's called her and sworn on her voicemail. He's been swearing at her on her voicemail all day, and now it's like, oh, well, she's swearing. Oh, good. I am on Mama's side in this. I am 100% fully on Mama's side right now. Because he said that he rang days ago and she hasn't replied and it's insufferably rude. And she says, "Once you've learned to be a little more gracious when leaving messages, you'll receive a quicker response. You'll catch more flies with honey than vinegar, Maxim. Surely a man of your appetites understands that." And then he's like, "What?" Like all mad. Like, I don't know what the appetites thing is. I don't know like how you catch more flies with honey than vinegar is like a thing that has anything to do with his taste in anything. Because what it implies is that he's not catching any flies, and I assure you, he has been catching flies. And others have been catching his fly. He tells her that the reason that she's cut off is for overspending, and then he asks her about the genetic counselor. And she is shocked. She's like, "What?" She tells him it doesn't have anything to do with him. I would say if it was about genetics, it probably does have something to do with his brother. But then she tells him to forget it, and then she hangs up on him. So obviously, either Maxim isn't his dad's kid, or Kit isn't their dad's kid, or neither of them are their dad's kid. For whatever reason, I know that this is going to turn into a paternity thing. In which case, just 23andMe it, just Ancestry.com it, find out a whole bunch of, like, siblings that you didn't know you had. Oh, he does know he has siblings, doesn't he? He has, like, siblings that he knows are out there or something. Am I confusing that with something I wrote? I might have written a book where that happened. Where somebody just has random half-siblings that they don't interact with. Is that in this book, or is that in my book? It has been a rough amount of weeks, okay? It has been a very rough amount of weeks, but I will tell you this for a fact, whether it is in this book or it is in my book. Either way, rich men are disgusting, and they set up little chains of illegitimate children everywhere. Ugh, it's like they just leave their sperm everywhere. It's just, rich men are disgusting. They're vile. Because his mom hung up on him, he calls his sister. Well, he tries to call her back immediately, and obviously she doesn't answer. So he tries to call his sister, and it says he stares at his phone in a chasm of confusion. Like, the word choice. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It sounds so word of the day. It sounds like someone has a thesaurus and is flipping through. The reason that I say that, I'm always on thesaurus watch, right? Oh, and I can actually give you a good example. I wrote this book a long time ago. This is the first book I ever wrote. It's the first manuscript I ever completed. It is the first book I ever sold, okay? And in this book, this is why I am always after people for the thesaurus thing. So this is why I can always tell when someone's looking at a thesaurus, because I actually wrote this sentence. The masticating emptiness that plagued me was never satisfied. Masticating. Because I didn't want to say gnawing emptiness. Of course not. That's something that people say. Those are words that make sense together. Those are words that flow together, and that's why people use them. And since people use them, I, in all of my 22-year-old wisdom, decided that that word was not good enough in this book. I had to say masticating, not gnawing or chewing or anything like that. I had to say masticating emptiness. So this book right here, and I have a copy right here. Oops, I just beat it into something. I have this copy super close to me, and I can pick it up anytime I want to humble myself. Anytime I want to humble myself, that book is there. And you will note that I have not unpacked my house from trying to move, okay? Even though our move was canceled day of, we were packed. And that book was sitting right there until the last possible minute. Because if there's something that you need to do as a writer before you say a chasm of confusion, it is you need to humble yourself and throw your thesaurus away. Maryanne calls him and is like, what did you say to Mom? Because she just slammed the door. And then he tells her about the letters that Carolyn found from the genetic counseling, and about how Dr. Renton wouldn't tell him anything. And Maryanne says, and you didn't think to tell the only medically qualified person in this family? Thanks. Fucking exactly. Your sister is a doctor. You could have asked her to do the tests. Your sister is a doctor. She could have answered questions. She can probably, I mean, it wouldn't be ethical, but she could probably get into like the hospital system or something and like find his file. So she asks exactly what their mother said. He said that, that she said, oh, it's none of my business. Maryanne says, that's weird. Oh, Maryanne whispers as if she's just had a rather unappealing thought. What? I'll call you back. Maryanne. She's hung up. What the hell? The female members of my family are driving me crazy. The female members. Anyway. All right. Oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly the kind of conflict that we want. The pulse pounding, the heart stopping, the thrilling adventure that we came here for. Alessia tries to quell her anxiety, but it expands in her chest, causing her heart to race. What's happened? Why is Maxim taking a call from his mother in private? He's not a secretive man generally. Is he? But what does he not want her to hear? What does he have to hide? Oh God, I hope this becomes a several chapters long arc of her wondering about the phone call, but never asking. She can tell that he's distracted and she's worried about stuff, but makes a point to note that he is not inattentive or distracted in bed. That is very important for us to know. But that to me does not strike me as like sexy or anything like that, because what I'm hearing here is that he has no interest in her. He's distracted. He can't focus on his wife, except for when they're fucking. I want to know what's up with E.L. James and her male characters always like sneaking up on the women in the kitchen and like just watching these women cook. Like I can't figure out what's like so sexy and appealing about a man who will just lean on the door and like watch you cook, but like not how. Alessia asks what his mother said, and he's like, I need answers from her, but it's nothing for you to worry about, okay? And she's like, yeah, but you're worried. And his stance changes, his jaw tensing, and he rakes a hand through his hair again, his frustration apparent. So he doesn't tell her anything. She wants to know, and he's frustrated because she's asking. I don't understand. But he says he needs answers, and she says, do you want to go and see her, his mother? And he's like, I'm tempted, and I could go and confront her. And Alessia asks, what answers do you need? He blows out a breath. Honestly, don't worry about it. It's something Carolyn showed me on Monday. Carolyn? Alessia is immediately on high alert. Maxim frowns, and his eyes widen as if caught in headlights. It's like a deer caught in a headlight. It's not like just regular people caught in headlights. It's the phrase is like a deer caught in headlights. This is like the pedal to the floor, or you floor it to the metal, or whatever it was from 50 Shades of Grey, where it's just like that is not the fucking phrase. He tells her that Carolyn came by with letters. She went to the office. And Alessia's like, Caroline, why was she going to see Maxim at his office when Alessia's never been to his office? And Alessia knows it isn't jealousy that's bothering her. She doesn't want her husband alone with his sister-in-law, his ex-lover, because deep down, she doesn't trust Caroline. Very good. Very good. Because you are aware of what book you are in. Because really, the only sort of, like, it was like this with 50 Shades of Grey. A lot of the drama came from ex-lovers, came from jealous. Not all the drama in that series, but a lot of the drama came from like, oh, he's been with these women. Oh, this woman's flirting with him. Is he interested in this woman? You know, that kind of stuff. Oh, he's the evil blonde friend of the family. Is there still something going on with her? Can I trust them to be alone? Like, a lot of the conflict was about Anastasia not trusting Christian. And in this, now it's like, oh, hey, I don't trust. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't, because you are the heroine in an E.L. James novel, and historically, the heroine in an E.L. James novel is constantly under siege from other women who are trying to get the man. And that is, I don't know. Alessia ignores the nagging voice in her head while Maxim's lips press together in an angry line, and he closes his eyes. When he opens them again, he looks irritated. Alessia, he says, this is nothing for you to worry about. Let's go out. I need a change of scenery. We'll eat out. He sounds exasperated. So he's annoyed with her because she's asking like too many questions about this thing that he's already said, do not ask about. This is very Michael Corleone. This is very like, don't ever ask me about my business. Okay, Alessia capitulates immediately. That's going to be their whole relationship. He's going to say, we're going to do this, and she's going to be like, okay, because she was making lasagna. And he's like, let's go out to eat. I need a change of scenery. She's already making the food, and then she's like, oh, okay. Maxim narrows his eyes. We can stay in if you want to. You need to tell me what you want to do. This is a partnership. He waves a hand between them, his tone terse. Okay, well, way to make it sound like she actually can object. Because you're terse, and you're irritated, and you're exasperated with her. And then you're saying, you need to tell me what you want. Well, you're not acting like someone who wants to hear what somebody else wants, dude. Is he angry with her? Alessia suddenly feels they're on the edge of some precipice, and she doesn't know what to say or do. Why is he so agitated? He didn't tell her about Carolyn, or his letters concerning Kit. How is she supposed to feel about that? How am I supposed to feel about the fact that that's all in italics? If that's all in italics and it's her interior thought, which is what that style suggests, as that is the style that has been used throughout the book, why is she referring to herself in her head in third person? How am I supposed to feel about that, Erica? So she also thinks that it does, like, all this stuff doesn't have anything to do with Carolyn, really, because she's like, this is, you know, he seems distraught, right? And she doesn't want to make him worry more. So basically she's like, you know, whatever is happening here, you know, I trust that you can figure it out, right? Alessia says that they can go out and she'll go and change her clothes. And then Maxim tells her she looks fine in jeans. This is so infuriating. I stop, grab her hands, and raise them in midair as if we're about to begin a folk dance. I let my gaze sweep over her body, ignoring the familiar tightening below my gut. Caro's right. Alessia needs clothes fit for a countess, not a student. He's like, oh yeah, you look all right. And then he like steps back and is like, oh no, my ex-lover is totally right. She looks like dog shit. There's a section break and they've already done the shopping. These will be with you tomorrow morning, Mr. Trevelyan. The young woman bats her lashes at Maxim, but he ignores her and doesn't correct her about his title. Yeah, good. Good. Because what she's doing is probably flirting with him because she's supposed to as part of her job. This is one of the things I do not understand in the world of E.L. James's books, is that waitresses are always trying to steal the man. No, they're trying to get fucking tips. Okay? They're just trying to do their job and keep the customer happy. So this woman, like, lightly flirting, this personal shopper lightly flirting with Maxim is like just doing it so that he'll request her again or something, and she probably gets a fucking commission. And then the whole thing about, like, he didn't correct her about the title, like, why should he? If somebody ever said, if I ever was like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, and they were like, actually, it's Dr. So-and-so, I'd be like, actually, I don't fucking care. And that's why I can't work in retail anymore. Let's go to the land of infantilization. Alessia's tongue pokes out between her lips in studied determination as she grips her chopsticks, and I remember the first time she used them in Mystique. This is gross, guys. Chef had prepared a sushi and sashimi extravaganza, and with her on my lap, I'd wrapped my hand around hers as I demonstrated how to use them. That is like how I taught my kids how to use Jesus Christ. He gets a text from Maryanne saying that their mother is at the airport and is headed to New York. And she didn't tell Maryanne why she left. She just texted from the gate, and that was it. I edited out a fart. You're welcome. He calls his mom, and this time on the voicemail, he's not a total douchebag. He's like, what's going on? Is this serious? You know, we want to have kids. I have to know this stuff. But again, sir, you can afford genetic testing. Your sister is a doctor. I guarantee she can help you find someone to do this genetic testing if she doesn't have access herself, right? Like, what is all of this drama? Why did your mother have to tell you this when you could just easily get these answers yourself? Like, if it's that difficult to pin your mother down, to keep her on one continent, then just fucking get the test. Maybe my plea will ignite a modicum of maternal feeling if she has any left. Mate, my mother is not renowned for her sentiment or her maternal feelings. Fuck. He thinks that they should fly to New York. And then he's like, oh, but Alessia will need a visa. I am so tired of hearing about visas and passports and how, well, I want to go here, but we can't, or we have to fly through this airport to get to this place because of this happening with this visa or this passport or this, you know, whatever, all this paperwork. Like, just please, if you don't have a plot to your story, please, please, I'm begging you, do not make the plot of your story, even a subplot of your story, anything about a lost passport, okay? That is a part of a fantasy that I can experience on my own. Absolutely. So apparently they're out drinking sake and gin, and there's a section break where that happens. Because she says she'd like to try gin, and they're already drinking sake. So he says, you know, oh, we can do that because he doesn't have any meetings. There's a section break, and then she is drunk off her ass. Apparently, she met his friends. There's nothing in here about meeting the friends, but she says that it was fun to meet his friends. And then she just flat out asks how many, like, of his friends he's had sexual intercourse with. And then he's thinking, well, maybe like 2 of them. But does that mean they met some tonight and he had slept with 2 of them before? I mean, surely he's had sex with more people, like, in his immediate friend zone, right? Because, like, if you're gonna fuck your brother's widow, you'll basically sleep with anybody you know, right? Oh my gosh. She asks him why he's had so many lovers, and he's like, can we talk about this when you're sober? And she's like, yeah, I won't forget. Oh, I hope you do. No, you don't. This is your sexual history. This woman is your sexual partner. She is your wife. You are planning to have children with this woman. You are freaked out about this genetic testing thing, and specifically because you're like, we're gonna have kids, but you don't want to discuss your sexual history with her? This is not how relationships work. Anyone out there who is reading these books and thinking this is the kind of relationship I want, no, you don't. Even though this guy is like marginally better than Christian Grey at this point, who knows what will happen in the book with this rapid decline of him constantly being exasperated at his wife for wanting to know what is going on in their relationship. You don't want this. I'm worried about her line of questioning. I thought we had settled this the other day. She seems obsessed with my sex life prior to meeting her, and I don't know why. I didn't behave inappropriately with any of the women I met tonight. Did I? I was friendly enough, but just that. Friendly. Even with Natasha and Sophie, 2 one-night hookups. Just to be clear. I like how I see the name Sophie in here, and I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. Not mine. I want to make everyone clear that mine would never, ever, ever. Well, like, fucking duh, they're not real people, Jen. God. The thing here with him not understanding why she would want to know about his past lovers, this is just blows my mind. Like, of course she wants to know. This is your wife, and you keep introducing her to women that you fucked. Every woman that she meets that isn't related to you, you have had sex with. So obviously she's going to have some concerns. Maxim grasps her chin, forcing her gaze on him. She squints so that he's in focus. Alessia, you've got to let this go, for your sanity and mine. And then there's more that goes on, so, you know, brackets, ... But for her sanity, you could just answer the questions. This has nothing to do with her or anything like that. This is 100%. All you have to do is answer a few very easy questions about your sexual past. That's all your wife is asking. Oh no. Okay, remember? Do you remember what I said about thesauruses and throwing them away and humbling yourself? Right? In the light from the bedside lamp, she studies him. Her husband, her lover, her Lothario. I beg of you, someone take her thesaurus away. She tells him that she loves him, but she doesn't want to be chattel. She knows the word chattel. I keep just hitting this wall as to like what the fuck she like what words does she know? Like what is going on here? Like I don't know. She falls asleep. There's a section break. We're back in his POV. He's like, oh, what's brought on her emotional outburst? Is it the drinking? Like, no fucking shit. But he hasn't answered any of the questions that she's been asking him throughout, like, repeatedly, like, throughout the book. And he's wondering why she's still stuck on it. Well, it's because she still haven't answered. Being cooped up in the flat may be affecting her. Y'all have been on a world tour since the beginning of this book. You have spent not very much time in this house at all. So he's trying to figure out what's bothering her. And at least there is some common sense here. It's you, dude. You're bothering her. You're fucking. I sigh. Carolyn spilling the beans didn't help. Okay, but you fucking your brother's wife didn't help. And also, it's not Carolyn's fault. You should have been honest with Alessia. But this is what happens when you have sex with someone for 2 weeks and then they are kidnapped to Albania and you go try to rescue them, but you go to a few museums on the way and you pack your running gear and then you go rescue them in Albania from a human trafficking situation and you don't spend the time to get to know them and you get married a week later and then this is what happens. Tale as old as time, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. So then he thinks that the problem isn't him. Alessia has been confronted with my sexual antics since she's known me. I blow out a breath and a thought occurs to me. Maybe it's our cultural differences she's finding difficult. No! It's not! It's that you were a hoe, and that's fine. I support my local hoe. I don't support Maxim because he will not take responsibility for the hoe behavior that he is doing. The thing is, okay, you went out and had sex with everybody in London. And then you decided you wanted to get married to this woman, but that you didn't want her to know anything about your life before then. And your secrecy is making her a crazy person, okay? That's what you're doing. And it's not Carolyn's fault. There, that's it. And she doesn't understand. I grin, relieved. I think I cracked the code to her anxiety. No! No, you didn't! The code to her anxiety, it's very easy to stop the anxiety. What you say is, hey, that was in the past. I will answer any questions that you would like to know. But it's important to me that you understand that those days are behind me and that I am devoted now solely to you. So while to me, those experiences no longer matter, I understand and I recognize that you have doubts because all of the women that you have met who are in my life and not related to me are people I've had sex with. He takes down the pictures of the naked women on the wall and he's like, oh, it's a shame because it's some of my best work. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that having pictures that you took of women that you slept with up on the walls in your house makes your wife uncomfortable. What a shame you have to take them down. Here are the pictures. It's like with 50 Shades of Grey when Anna finds those fucking pictures that Christian Grey took for blackmail against all of his sexual partners, and she doesn't like them and wants him to get rid of them, and he's like, no, that's ridiculous. Maxim's doing the same thing here. Like, what do you mean I can't have photos of women I've had sex with in our marital bedroom? Maybe she's overwhelmed by being here. A new life with an ex-player. A rake. Maybe that's what this is about. She needs to understand that all that is behind me. Okay, then tell her that. Talk to your wife. You cannot, the conflict in this book is like 100% just he doesn't want to tell her what's going on because he likes to think of her as his ex-cleaning lady who sits around his house and plays music for him when he wants to. And that's it. That's the sum total of the chapter right there. Nothing is resolved at all, not even a little bit. Nothing really pushed the story forward. All right, I'm not asking for a big wrap up of every plot point in chapter 15 of the book, right? It is chapter 15, right? Now, who the fuck cares? But in chapter, whatever of the book, I'm not asking that be where everything is wrapped up, but things should somewhat move forward. And it didn't. Nothing moved forward. All we have is misunderstanding on top of misunderstanding and two characters who will not talk to each other. But I'm blaming Maxim more because, as I said before, he is not treating Alessia as someone who is equal in an equal partnership with him, despite saying that's what he wants, is that they want to be in an equal partnership. When he finally does say, hey, you need to tell me if this is something you don't want to do. If you don't want to go out to eat tonight, you need to tell me. Well, she's making a lasagna, motherfucker. I think that, I don't generally make a lasagna when I want to go out to eat, right? I guess I don't understand his I don't understand his attitude because he's terrible. He's terrible. Alessia is basically wallpaper that can play the piano, and this whole thing is just dragging. I can't remember what percentage we're on, but good Lord, this book is 48%. We're not even a proper halfway through this book. What is the plot? Is the plot just going to be that he can't find anything out about this genetic testing despite the fact that there's a doctor in his family and he has his own doctor and he could go get genetic testing? There is nothing holding him back. There is no mystery here. There is no mystery in this book at all, other than just the mystery of why this grown-ass man can't figure out how to make his own doctor's appointment. Actually, that is a pretty common mystery. Anyway, if you want to continue on this hellish journey with me, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, and don't forget to check out my Buffy videos, and I'm gonna try to get back on that schedule of posting new content every weekday if possible. But just be patient with me because, as I said before, my heart is broken and I am now going to be involved in a lawsuit. So that's gonna eat up some of my time. Anyway, oh, and check out links in the description box where you'll be able to find links to my current serial, the Ogre's Fairy Tale Bride, that posts new updates every Tuesday and Thursday. So yeah, thanks for reading this book with me, and I'll catch you on the flip side.